Hey guys, Ramblin Bob here. So I looked in the mailbox today and look what I found in the mailbox. These are 330 watt Pecron foldable solar panels. I guess they like the way I review stuff, so they sent me a couple. That's really cool. Now just because they sent them to me, I didn't pay anything. Doesn't mean they're not going to get a fair trial. If I don't like them, I'm going to tell you about them. You know what? First of all, right off the bat, the packaging, unbelievable, guys. Double cardboard. That's really nice. Most people who send this stuff, and it's solar panels or something like that, they'll usually send about, you know, a little flimsy piece of cardboard, maybe some styrofoam or something. This is really well packaged. Like you can see, I have to use a knife just to get in it. That's good cardboard. It's not garbage. You have to give it to Pecron for that. I haven't seen any other company use that much packing stuff ever. So that's a plus. It's going to actually take me a while to get it open. That I cannot hate on. Alright. Look at that, guys. Double, fully reinforced, heavily taped cardboard boxes. Thinking back to when I first got my Pecron and my EB3000s, they were double packed like that too. So Pecron certainly does not screw around when it comes to shipping. Look at that, guys. Reinforced, right? Heavy stuff. Hands down, this is probably one of the best packed solar panels I have ever gotten. Instruction manual. This time we're going to see if they got it right. Look at that. Good stuff. Double cardboard. Double foam end inserts. That's the Pecron. This is a 330 watt panel. This is not a joke, guys. We're starting to get into some mean numbers with these portable panels. They sent me 2 of them. Holy cow. You know what? It's not even going to fit in my shop. That's a good big panel. Well, let me open the other one real quick. You tell me another solar company that sends you this much packing. 4 boxes, 2 panels. 4 inserts, 2 panels. If at the very least you have to give them 100% on their packing. The panels, we haven't tried yet. But the packing, absolutely outstanding. I've never seen another company with that kind of quality, guys. Never. And I've bought many things in my days. Look at that, guys. PV300. The manual, let's see if it's right. It's a PV300, but it's actually 330 watts. Not open voltage. I think they're 39 watts open voltage, but 330 watts max input, output. Hell of a nice panel, guys. It's heavy. That's no joke. And you know, one thing I learned with these portable panels like this, if you don't have some weight on them and you make them too light, I think garbage. The wind's just gonna blow them over. Look at the legs on these things. Look at that. That is a legit probably 6 to 7 inch leg on there, wide. And notice it stays open. It has a locking thing in there. See that? This panel is not a joke, guys. That is not a joke. I didn't get to test the EcoFlow or the Bluetti, but look at this monster. There's Velcro in between. That's what you're hearing ripping. Sounds like it's ripping, but see that? So there's Velcro once it's together. That way when you carry it like a briefcase, it stays together. Nice. They did a lot of nice touches on here. Look at that. And you know what? Watch this. You see this? It's stiff. That's what you want in a portable panel. That flimsy stuff, like you guys remember the first one I had? You want to talk about a massive upgrade? This panel, that's the 100 watt from Pecron. This was a decent panel. But you see the flimsiness of it? See that? The panels are okay. The legs are decent. This is a decent panel. But now you're talking about almost 3.5 times the power out of those than this bad boy here. That's a big difference, guys. No jokes. Alright, well, as you can see, those are some monster panels. I would say, obviously when I do the review, I'll have the actual specs of it. I think they're about 39 open voltage. I think they're about 100 to 105 inches long by about, it feels and looks like about 3 feet wide. But the legs are no joke. The handles, these are not a joke, guys. Very well made handles. Double reinforced stitch corners. The panel looks clean. It still has that solar panel look. I'm not a fan personally of the solar panel look because people can see that they're solar panels. I wish that they were all black. Let me show you. I think this one, you see how they have that all black look? See that? I'm a fan of this color, but this is a 100 watt panel. And you see these cheap little legs? This is garbage. Not garbage in a bad way, just compared to what we're looking at now, this is worth the money. This is worth the money if you need something temporary. I think I would leave these out all year, as long as they were in safer place where somebody couldn't, you know, run off with them. I would, I mean, look at, you know what I mean? Look at, you know, the proof is in the pudding. I always said, when you pick up a product, you want it to do exactly what you want it to do and what it's capable of, and that's it. Nothing more, nothing less. You just want what you paid for. These are going to be monsters, guys. Well, as I said, this is a sponsored review. I didn't pay for either one of these panels. Pecron was nice enough to ship them to me with a note saying, Ramblin Bob, please do a review. We trust that you'll give it an honest opinion. If you don't like something, say it. And you know what's funny, guys? When I first started doing this, I reviewed that Pecron E2000 LFP. You all were here when I did it. And I was very critical about probably 3 or 4 things. Number one, that lunchbox charger. Hated it. Absolutely hated it. New models coming out, they'll have an updated charger. I didn't like the 110 volt outputs on the AC. Pecron did something about it. They changed it. All the units now, 120. I didn't like and appreciate the 65 watt output on the USB-C. Pecron fixed it. They changed it. It's 100 watts. That's what they claim. That's what I want. Nothing more, nothing less. I look out for the consumers now because I have this channel, as well as I look out for me. If I were to buy these, you know, these when you get foldable panels of this size, this isn't like spending 50 bucks at the thrift store. These are an investment. So you're definitely not going to get something of this quality for 50 bucks. You're talking hundreds now. Let me see. Let me open this up here. Well packaged, tied nicely. You see this cable, guys? You see how thick that is to my finger? That's not a joke. That is a nice, heavy duty, like you see the bend. You remember how I always used to teach you guys that when you make a loop, right? You see how big that loop is? When you make a loop with a cord and pull it like this and feel the tension, you can tell how good that wire is in there, and you can tell how well the insulation is just by making a loop and going like this. Now if that loop were to go all the way down, let me show you. Obviously, right? You see that loop? See when it starts opening? This is USB-C. But it's not made to be heavy duty. Look at the difference of an average, just to give you an idea, look at the difference of an average USB, this is for my phone. Look at the difference of the cable you get. It says right on there, 300 volts. That's not garbage. 80 degrees Celsius. That's almost 200 degrees Fahrenheit. 12 gauge AUG inside there, 12 gauge cable in there. 2464. It has all the ratings there. That's nice to see. Even my cat likes it. Look at, she's running in the maze. This has to be, I don't know exactly, but I guarantee this has to be at least 15, maybe more feet for the cord, possibly even 20. Let's see. Yeah, that's in between 15 and 20 foot for this cord. That's nice. A lot of these things give you those little, you know, those little spaghetti strings. You guys know what I'm talking about. You've seen them. Little spaghetti strings. They're probably this long, right? And this is already on the board. And, you know, you get this to work with. Like, what are you going to do with that, right? Look at this. I have not tested EcoFlows or Bluettis, but I'll tell you what, I have never had a panel this quality foldable yet, and I have never certainly had a product other than the Pecron company. And like I said, I don't work for Pecron. They sent these to me for free. I guess they like my reviews and they like when I'm critical because I think they want to better their products. They fixed 3 things on that power station. Oh, including the cables, the cascade cables. That's 4 things that I can name because of my videos that Pecron said we need to go back to the drawing board and fix it. These customers need quality, you know. Here's your 12 gauge cable. MC4s. Very well put together. Very tight. They might even possibly glue them shut. Nope. Okay, there it is. Boy, they were nicely put together. Waterproof. The pins are nice and tight. This is a hell of a nice panel. I'm honored to even have something like this. I believe it's rated 68 as far as the waterproof rating. But this cable alone, guys, this is impressive. This is not a joke for a cable. I mean, you can tell just by, like I said, the size of it. You have a product that's going to last out there in the wind, in the rain, in the snow possibly. Let me put this back in here real quick. Sorry guys, I'm still building my workshop. It's very small, so I have very little room to work with because we have all the building materials here. But check this out. Try to bend it, right? These handles are no joke. You know, one thing I noticed too when I opened it, you remember how I taught you guys to open them like this, like a letter W, and that way the wind won't push it over? So when you go to set it up, I don't think I can fit it in here. I think it's too long. But I'll make the attempt here. You see that? You see how sturdy that is? This is a very well made piece of product here. Like I said, I'm honored to try this. I will happily do a review on this. But now it all comes down to, you know, this is a 330 watt panel. You can see the flimsiness of it. It's not bad at all. It's actually very, very stiff. Listen, you hear the weight of that? It's not a joke. I've seen a lot of these panels that were really, really thin, and as soon as you pick them up one way, they flop. This whole side falls down, right? Not bad at all. On the reverse side, these legs are not a joke. Once you open them, it's kind of hard to see. Like I said, my shop is so small. Hopefully you guys can see this. There is a second leg inside here. Can you see that? You pull this down, set it where you want. Look, once you get this and lock it, there's a locking thing here, and you put it like that and lock it on the other side. That will reinforce this other leg. I wish it was big enough to set this up in here, but look at this. That's not a joke. This is a damn nice piece of hardware right here, and I have a feeling it's going to do okay. But you know, until you try it, it's all theories, right? You can write any kind of specs you want on a piece of paper, but until you put this sucker out in the sun, it's just numbers. Alright guys, well I have 660 watts of foldable power here from Pecron. Thank you for sending it over. I will most certainly do a review on this. Look at the stitching on this, guys. Double stitched reinforced corner. Very nice. The handles are outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. The weight, I mean, listen to the thud of that. That's a well-made piece. I hope these panels perform as well as the quality of how it's made so far, you know. Well, I guess this is where we get to the point, guys. You guys ready to do this? Let's. Okay guys, test one of the Pecron PV300. Let's see here. Now when you look at the owner's manual here, the instruction manual, the one thing I like that they upgraded on this style is they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They have 6 different languages here, some of which I have no idea what they are. I think that's Japanese, that might be Chinese or Mandarin. It looks like French. But the nice thing is they did better with this manual than the E2000. This is the model, the PV300. It's a 330 watt foldable solar panel. Let's see. What's nice is they have all the schematics here. Well, you know what's really nice is when it comes to solar panels, guys, every company out there, it seems, I don't want to pick on everybody, but it just seems that way, that everybody puts their data here, and boy, you can't even get close to what they write here. But what I do like with how they did it here is notice that this says theory data or data, depending on if you're a Star Trek fan or not, right? So
I like that because what that means is in theory with all the specs that they have to the panels, that means you don't really know what this is going to be total until you try it out. That's a good thing. That's actually, it sounds weird, but that's a good thing. I'm so tired of companies telling you this is a whatever, 1,000-watt panel. This is a 15 million watt, whatever. And then you only to find out that unless you live in a, like a laboratory, you don't get close to these numbers. So being that they use the word theory data right away gives your brain a little bit of ease to say, well, if I don't get close to that 330 output, that's the theory in a perfect world. I would like to see, instead of theory data, I'd like to see real world. That would, if panels would do that, if processors would do that, if RAM would do that, then you would see a huge shift in the buying patterns of people. If you guys remember, like AMD, and AMD had like the 4600 AMD processor, and you find out it's only 2.2 gigahertz, stuff like that. I don't know if that's accurate, but that seems to be what it was. At least when you went to the Pentium side, you had a Pentium 2 633 megahertz in a laptop, and then you start it up and you run the diagnostics on it, and you find out that it's very close to 633, if not just a hair bit under. Pentium 2 633 megahertz. I like the old way that the companies used to do it. There's too much marketing games. There's too much funny. You know what I mean? I don't know what the right word to say. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to disrespect anybody, but too much funny math at a lot of these. Like you remember the story I told you about when I went to the fair, and this guy's like, you want to buy this speaker? It can hold 3,600 watts. And I would just look at him. I said, I'll bet you $10,000 if I hook a 500-watt old carbon amp, a good amp, to that speaker, I could put it across the street. Probably the entire cone would rip out. So the funny numbers in marketing, I'm not a fan of. So what we're going to do is we're going to test these. Now, I only have this one hooked up. I have one panel hooked up right now. As you can see on the TV, hopefully you can see this. This is a little security monitor that I bought. And I can monitor power stations and things outside if I need to when I put panels out there. But notice that this string is not hooked up. So this panel is hooked up. And this run right here, which I don't recommend you doing. However, with outside portable stuff, you end up running a long gauge wire. This is approximately 50 to 60 feet, which is way too long. Way too long. And the reason I did that is because that's what most average users are going to end up doing. They're going to put a gauge that's like, this should be at least 10 gauge. It's 12 gauge off the panel, and then this is 12 gauge. This is a landscaping cable. I wanted to use this on purpose because I wanted to see a real world number with real world use. Most people are not going to rush out and buy 8, 10 gauge heavy duty cable. This product is more geared towards the camper, the fellow that wants to go have fun with his family, the young lady that wants to go hang out with her friends or family, and they want to pull this out of the trunk. They hook it up to a small cable right away. Hopefully it'll be a much shorter run, because remember, you have 20 feet, probably 15 to 20 feet. I think that's probably, I don't even know, that's got to be 15-foot cable at least. They want to pull this out of the trunk, hook it up, and be done with it. So that I'm doing this test goes more to the average consumer, as we all were at one time, of just buying a product and trying it out willy-nilly. I will also put 10 gauge cable on this, and I'll be putting the power station outside to see what kind of power I get with a close run. Actually, I won't even do that. I'll run it right off this cable, right out the 12 gauge. Because like I said, this is probably 50, 60 feet, with adding, whatever this is. I think it's 15, but I'm not 100% sure. It didn't say in the manual, but I'm assuming just by size, that's about 15 feet, because it wraps around the back and goes to the port. Okay, so what we're doing here is, now you see how the panels are set up. Only one is on, one is active, and it is 9 o'clock in the morning. It is a 39.6 volt system. Well, once again, guys, do not do this. This is here for only testing and video purposes. As you can see, When I'm done with them, they get unhooked and they get hooked back to the main board. This is only so you can see the data firsthand all at one time. It's easier for taking pictures, so I just kind of rigged this up as a temporary thing, or it might be permanent in a temporary way, if you can understand, that. So we're pulling in 33.3 volts at 4.85 amps, and that equals 160, about 162. Solar balances, it's very early in the morning, so about 160 watts. So we're real close to approximately maybe 50% of the, let me see exactly what it would be. 330 minus 50% would be, 165 watts. So we're very close to the 50% threshold, but also remember, these were just set up kind of pointed at the sun. I didn't perfectly aim them. I just wanted to do an average test that someone would put up at their campsite, being the first time they've ever used solar panels. I'll get more technical in the test later on. But, okay, so we're going to test that, and now I'm going to hook to the other panel to see what that gets. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, back. So I went out and I restrung them. So this one is unhooked now, and this one is hooked up now. As you can see by the wires here, this one is unhooked and this one is chained up. So let's see what kind of power this one's bringing in. Let's see if it's close. Now remember, solar kind of, it goes quick, you know what I mean? Let's see. So you have 32, about 32 volts coming in at just under 6 amps, 5.8 amps for 192 watts. Now notice that this one is pulling in about 30 watts more than the other panel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hook them both up now, not parallel, not serial, in series. I'm going to put one on this meter and one on this meter so we can watch them at the same time. Now remember, this panel, or these panels were just kind of plopped out there and pointed towards the sun. They're not perfectly aimed because that's the test I wanted to try first. The average ordinary test that, the average consumer would just plop them outside when they're camping. Okay, so I'll be right back, okay? Okay, so now I have both panels hooked up, one on this string and one on this string. This is open volt current, VOC, 41.3 and 41.3. So they're very, very close as far as the voltage, if not perfect. So now we're going to do both of those in a system and see what we get. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, test. This is one panel and this is one panel. They're separate. We're getting 36 volts at about 5.3 amps, and this one is 32 volts at 5.2 amps. 160 watts here and 160 to 170 here. Now, it might mean that this panel's aimed a little bit better. Like I said, I just set them out there. I didn't scientifically measure them. I just wanted to point them towards the sun to see what the average consumer would get. Obviously, if you pinpoint these, obviously I use the old can technique, where it's called a soup can technique, where you put that on the panel and then you make sure that there's no shadow or shade around the entire can on the panel. But you can see that's kind of going up. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning, so solar should just ready to start. We do have a lot of clouds today, so I don't know what we're going to peak out at. What I can see right away is the voltage on this one is up to, see, 37, and this one's at 32. So either this one has a different angle, which that's what I'm thinking, or this one's putting out a little bit more. But it's really hard. You can see the amps are almost the same, but the voltage is a little bit less. And like I said, the voltage comes from the sun. So if you have it not aimed 100% perfect, which I don't have the tools to aim them perfectly, other than the old soup can technique. Being I just started this channel, I have to get all the proper tools to test everything, but I want to do an average real-world test of what you get out of these panels just kind of flopped up. You got 150 and about 100 and, well, see, 150. But like I said, that that's the clouds. I have overcast all day. I'll try to do another test. Hopefully later it'll clean up, and then you can kind of see what you get with a clear sky. I'm hoping noon is good. You know, I'm praying to the weather gods out there, because boy, this weather so far this year has just been just crap. Snow one day, rain the next day, clouds, and you know, it just living in the Midwest, it's kind of what to expect. But this year's been a little different. It's been a little crazy. So, all right, I'm gonna come back in probably about an hour and see how these are doing as far as the input, and then we'll go from there. All right, I'll be back. And just an update, as you can see, the way the panels are, one is aimed a little bit differently. You can see the difference between the panels here. I didn't put a yardstick or a ruler out there to, you know, perfectly measure it. I just wanted to plop them out there and kind of see. But it looks like this one seems to be at a little bit, maybe not much, just a couple of degrees off of what this one is, and that might be the voltage difference. But you know, I'll keep testing. I'll test them all day. You know, I don't have anywhere to go today. I'm off work today, so we'll see what we can get, guys. I'll be back. And then here's what I'm getting on the conversion. Once you get the what's known as the real watts up there, that is the wattage that comes right off the panel into the meter. And then obviously when you do the conversion from a 40 watt panel down to 24 volt battery, you're going to have conversion loss. A lot of people don't understand how solar works, or the panels. I didn't either. I had to learn, and it felt like college for a while there. But we have a lot of overcast still. I'm waiting for maybe a clear window, maybe 15 or 20 minutes of real good sun. You can see we got about 319 now, 321. That'll bounce, obviously. The real world watts coming in are see 140, 130, 130. And that's, like I said, the overcast is just terrible today. The weather we've had all year is just, boy, that's a fight. So I'd like to see these things peak out just for like 1 solid hour. That way you get a good solid hour of testing, and then you can see what these panels can really do. As you can see, the big difference, it goes from like, what, 240 to, you know, 310 here, 315. You know, that's a big wave. And what that is that's either the clouds going over the top, the weather. You see that's spiking again here. We're looking at 660 watts is the max that you would expect from the theory data. So we'll see as it goes. It's early in the morning still. It's 10 o'clock. Usually your prime hours is from 11 to 4 where I'm at. Every state is different because, you know, the angle. As you can see the spike here, 360. So that obviously is the clouds trying to move out of the way early in the morning. In the afternoon, this usually stays very, very stable compared to what you're seeing now. I call it the morning wave. It's not a technical term, but I invented my own term here called the morning wave. And what happens is, you know, it'll come in and it'll go like that. Like literally, it'll go, you know, 280, 290, 300, 280, 390, 300. You've seen that if you have solar panels, and you can kind of understand what I'm saying there. But it's a normal occurrence that happens every single morning. And I think that's the rays going through the atmosphere and bouncing off stuff. So it kind of goes, you know, in waves kind of thing. All right, so 350. So we are spiking a little bit now. We're going here 370 almost, 380, 384. So remember, we're looking for that sweet number of 660. Now, I don't expect to see it. If we do, holy cow, great product. But not so bad so far, not so bad. This is going to be a long review, because I want to have as much data as I can for everybody. Let's see here. See, 432. And remember, it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so we're not anywhere close to prime hours here. Usually from 12 to 1 is the best that you can get for solar. Usually, but like I said, that depends on where you live. So, and you see that drastic change. So you go from 400 and something all the way down to almost 300, and that's those darn clouds. But as you see, it's starting to spike a little bit here. I expect between 11 and 12 we should get some numbers that are very respectable. So already we're probably at 400 here, 414, 424, 430. So the peak is 430 right now. It's getting to that average. Solar panels usually put out about 75% of the rated power. Like I said, though, with their manual, what I do like is the honesty that they wrote in there. It says theory data, and I like that. I like that. That means in theory, this is what this panel should produce under perfect conditions. That's nice because it gives you a heads up when you buy a product to not 100% put your faith in that number. I wish that the companies would put like an average approximation real world, number on there. But I can understand why they don't to a point, because every single instance of solar is different. I don't care where you live, what country you're in, what clouds you have. Every single situation will be and can be different. Just to give you an idea, I'm pulling in 215 watts on this Oukitel on a separate string that's not hooked up to the meters, and that's what is that? That's 400 watts of panels outside. Those are the 4 Harbor Freight 100 watt monocrystallines I have on there. And notice I'm only getting 50% of that right now because that's those darn clouds. So for these to pull in 414, if you do the math on that, that's 50%, and this is more than 50%. So we're almost 60-70%. We're getting there. See here, look at it, just dropped down to 191. I hope you can see that, 191. I don't like the screen as much as this one. Pecron, you did a really good job with the screen. Bright. Oukitel, hopefully you can make a brighter one or an option in a hidden menu like this one, to change that, the brightness of that. So like I said, we're getting 200 watts here. So that's about 50% of those rated power for the panels. But this one here, see, now we're 450. So it's definitely going up. It's definitely going up. So you got 416 to 450, which is the wave. That's the wave I was explaining before. See, you can see it'll spike. See, 453, 460, and now almost 470, 475, 480. Well, now we're getting into numbers I like. And now you'll see it go downward. See, there's the wave. It's a really strange thing. Obviously, it has to do with the atmosphere and the light rays and this and that. There's a lot of... I'm not an engineer. I'm not a scientist, obviously. I'm just an average guy that bought some machines. But that's kind of how it works in my theory of what I read, which was, that the lights have to go through the atmosphere, and it'll do like a wave thing. That's the best way I can explain it to people that don't know solars. It goes through like a wave, almost like a sound wave, where you see like on a like a 60 hertz when you look for the peer sign, it goes like that, But yeah, these numbers are getting better. I'll let it go for a little bit, and I'll come back maybe about 10:30. All right, guys, I'll be back. Okay, guys, I just wanted to grab the camera real quick. So we're all the way up to, I saw 528 out of the corner of my eye, so I wanted to come see. It is now about 10:34, and we're starting to get numbers that are much more respectable. I think I saw 528, but we're gonna kind of do a live shot here. I know it's gonna be a long video, and I apologize, but I want as much real world data as we can get. I don't want theories. I don't want guesses. I want numbers on a screen. We're pulling in 250 from one panel and 222 from another panel. And like I said, with foldable panels, it is literally almost impossible to get them perfect angles and height, and you know what I mean, because they're bendable. So you're never going to get 100% the same out of both of them unless you're really lucky. I'm going to go outside and I'm going to readjust them a little bit and make sure that the angle is as close as you can get to perfect. But like I said, that's literally impossible because of the... Now, if they were rigid panels, see, you could measure them and you can angle them perfect. But anything that has an arch to it, like when you set them up and they bend, you're never going to have the same arch on two pieces of bendable material. More or less, there's 4 panels each, so that's 8 bendable pieces that are definitely going to not be 100% accurate. But that's good though, because now you're seeing real world data here. See, 563. Now we're getting into very respectful 574, 576. I think that's 577. That's probably going to top out 578. Let's see here, 582. Okay, so we're getting into some really nice numbers. Look at this, guys. Look at this, guys. Holy crap. Boy, I wish you could swear on YouTube. I apologize. Gordon Ramsay, how do you get away with it? Look at it, 610, 612, 613.
650. Guys, we're doing something here. I mean, we're past the 90% right. Look at this, 620, 623. Holy cat scratch fever here. 623. I looked away for a second. Guys, I think that's as high as I saw it, 623. Remember, this is 660 watts of panels here. It's 10:30 a.m. in the morning. I did not expect numbers like that. Look here, 630. We're 29 watts, 28 watts away from maxing out this panel at 10:30 a.m. Look at the numbers, guys. Look at this. And that's all I have, I promise. That's one on one side and one on the other side. And what I'll do is I'll unpull these strings and you can see. Wow, I'll tell you what. I'm extremely impressed with the numbers I'm seeing here. When I first plugged them in, I was kind of like, okay, you know, typical. You're going to get 50% rated power to 75. Remember, here's the huge thing. You have to always remember, I just flopped these outside. I did not aim them other than, you know, the old soup can technique. I used a can of corn and you set it on the panel and you kind of azimuth with that kind of thing. You know what I mean? For those guys who are in satellites. But look at the numbers. Holy crap. Holy double SHIT, guys. Seriously. I didn't, like I said, I don't know if you can swear on YouTube. I don't know if Gordon Ramsay gets away with it. Probably because he's rich and famous. But that's okay. Yeah, wow, I got one coming in at 345, 350, 360, and I got one coming in at 280. And like I said, that's really nice because you can see the voltage is almost the same, but the amps are different. See that? You got hopefully you can see that, 9.5 amps and 7.6. Now that difference is obviously, could be in the wires. Remember, I just used random 12 gauge wire, which I recommend higher than 12 gauge, guys. If you're gonna run that far, use higher than 12 gauge wire. Use at least 10. If you can get to 8, great. But sometimes you get to the real heavy stuff, boy, is it hard to roll up. You know, and then you have that spaghetti all over your lawn. But I just wanted to grab the camera because, like I said, I saw this out of the corner of my eye. I'm like, holy crap, now we're getting into numbers that are 100% respectable. Especially, you're looking at panels that, if I could come back this way, guys, just for a second. If I can go back to my test station backyard security cam system thing here. This is let's see here. Yeah, you could see the arch of this one. It's definitely different than these. These are a little bit more straight. So maybe when I put those up, you know, I didn't completely straighten them. And like I said, that's good because I want real world data. I don't want theories. I don't want stories. I don't want I heard, you know, I caught a fish 40 feet long. I want to see it. But you could definitely see just on the camera, and this camera is probably about 30 feet up in the air, that these panels are definitely more arched, you know, moon-shaped, if you will, than these are. These are a little bit of arch, but like this one's really bent, and then the angle is different. Like if I put a ruler here, I know this is not scientific, guys, but you see this here? Okay, we're that far away. You see that extra space here? See that? It doesn't look like much, but you know, to the sun, that's a lot. And I bet you it's this panel that needs to be arched a little bit. I'm gonna go adjust that just a hair, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back again. So I believe I guessed, but I believe I got them better. I already saw better numbers on the monitor when I walked by on the meters. So let's see here. Okay, now see that you know, that was a pretty damn good guess there. Now you have an equal space between this side and this side. I mean, like I said, it's not scientific, but that's what this entire test is about. I don't want lab coats. I don't want scientific numbers. I want real world data from the guy that takes his family and kids out to the ballpark and or fishing or the camping trip, and they get real world numbers without having to do all that you know, the scientific stuff. You just want to take this out, you want to put the panels up, you want to enjoy the day with your family, and then you want to pack it up and go home. So, but look at, it's not even 11 o'clock yet. We're solid at almost 600 watts. It is 10:42. So yeah, I can't, like I said, this is going to be a very long review, and I apologize for people that don't want to hear me ramble, but you kind of clicked on the name, that's kind of what you get. You know, my wife named me very, very good. Yeah, so 600 watts,
would be, if you look at this is my scientific data chart here. 50% would be about, obviously, 330. It's half the panels. 60% would be 396 watts. 70% is 462 watts. 80% would be about 528 watts. 90%, that's exactly where we're at right now. 594 watts. Now we're at 610. So we're literally in the 90s now, guys. We could be possibly about 90, 92, 93 area. There's 621. So we're creeping up on that 92, 93, 94%. And you always have to remember, these are just set out there, guys. I literally just walked out, looked at the sun, took a soda, a soup can, aimed it at the sun, and did the best I can. With the foldable portable panels like that, I don't care what you do, unless you mount them like on a hardwood or something, you are never, ever, ever going to get all 8 of those panels to line up 100% perfect. And if you do, the wind will come and knock one out of whack. But look at the numbers I'm getting, guys. So I can't imagine or wait until someone like Hobotech or Will gets a hold of these panels, or Jason, right? And they have more of the gadgets and tools to actually push these to the limit and see what they can do. This is 100% respectable number at 10:40 in the morning, to see 600 watts come out of a 660 watt panel. And these are hooked in parallel, not parallel, sorry, 2 separate streams. I got 330 on one and 330 on the other. And what I'll do live is I'll unhook one. This is one Pecron panel. As you can see, what you get on one, 250, which is, that seemed to be, yeah, that was the lower one. And then what I'll do is I'll pull that one out. Hopefully I can do this with one hand, and then I'll put the other one back in. And then you can see, like I said, the real, I don't recommend hot swapping stuff like this, guys. I'm only doing it for the test. I want to see if the panels can take it. Always use a DC shutoff if you're going to do this. These are only pulling at about 32 volts, but still, use a DC shutoff. Try not to hot swap it like that. Yeah, see, this panel is bringing a lot more, and I think that's the angles. Like I said, that moon crater shape. And then I'll put them both back in now, so that way you can see that real time. There's nothing else hooked up. The batteries, as you see this one, hopefully you can see that, empty. That port's empty. This port's empty. And even if I did have something on those ports, guys, those who have the system know that this monitor will not recognize anything coming in the batteries. So you don't have to worry about, trickery and, the false numbers and all this stuff. This is real world test. It's going to be a very long video. It's probably the longest one I'll ever do, probably an hour, 2 hours. But all right, I'll be back in a little bit. I want to see if that thing goes past 100%. This is hands down a buying product, with no question. It already is. I've seen it at 630 watts out of 660 at 10:30, 10:40 in the morning. That in itself, 100%. The theory data, we're going to push that up higher. Look at, here it goes again, guys. Here it goes. I was just going to pop the camera off. 614 it was at. And remember, I don't have prime solar hours yet. So, all right, I'll be back. I'm really excited about this product, guys. This is a really nice, powerful. Look at that, 630 again, 628, 627. All right, I'll be back. I'll be back probably in 20 minutes. All right, bye. All right, guys, I'm back. I just grabbed the camera again. I just saw it over 660. Let me check the time again. It's about 6:45. I literally put the camera down, walked away, and I saw 660 watts. That is, guys, without a doubt, 100% output. Now remember, that's converted power. That means the true watts that are coming in the meters could have been as high as 660, 670. That's crazy. Hopefully them dang clouds stay away long enough. You know the old saying, a watch pot never boils. Well, that's, yeah. As soon as I picked up the camera, she dropped down. So that's got to be a cloud. So I'm just gonna wait and see if the cloud moves out of the way. You can see it dropped down a lot. It was 600, and now it's down to 400, and it's kind of climbing. But all you need is one cloud to wreck your day, guys. And I think we've all been there, to where, we're staring at that cloud, going, can you get out of the way, please? I wonder if you can get a ticket if you were in a park, like swearing at the clouds. You know, that would be kind of awkward, but it'd be funny to watch. Make a good YouTube video for sure. So now we're here. We're going back up a little bit, but now we're going down. See, darn the clouds. That's what you get for living in the Midwest, guys. The weather is just so unpredictable that, you know, 1 minute you're rain, 1 minute you're snow. Like literally last week, we had 3 seasons in one day. It was about 45 degrees, which seemed like summer at this time. It's February, you know, so at 45 degrees, you're like, hey, this is great. And then an hour later, it was snowing. And then probably, I don't know, maybe 2 hours later, it was raining. And I'm thinking, well, this is like 3 seasons in one day. Like, well, what are we doing up there, you know? But, yeah, very interesting weather we're having. I just want to see this thing spike back up here. And like I said, I know it's a long video, guys. I apologize, but I want you to have every bit of information. There you go. Okay, so there you go, 622. It looks like the cloud moved out of the way. Oh, come on, guys. You know what this is like? This is like watching the slot machine. You know, ever turn a slot machine and you get the numbers and you're like, oh, damn it, we almost got the jackpot. So 660 is the jackpot, guys. That's what we're looking for. And I already saw it. I hope I got it on film. I know I got very close to it on camera. Well, film. It shows how old I'm getting here. On video here. But darn, if my reflexes would have been a little bit quicker. Okay, here, we're spiking again here. Here, 6. All right, let's do it this time. 617. 612. Oh, my gosh. Come on, solar gods, work with us here. But real world up there is about 350 and about 250, which would be 5. That'd be 550. Yeah, that's about right. Because you know you lose. Actually, it's amazing how much you lose in conversion. It's amazing how much you lose in the cable run. I mean, it's amazing with the resistance and everything. You really lose a lot of power, and people take that for granted sometimes. And always remember this also, guys. I'm running 50 to 60 feet on 12 gauge cable. I do not recommend that. You're losing so much in the transmission of that power. But I'm using Jasenoid's secret, if you look close. He really turned me on to this product here, and I can't get enough of this stuff. It's cheap. It's 100-foot spool of landscaping cable. It's for outdoor lights and, you know, things like that, speaker systems and whatnot. But, man, you know, for the price of it, holy cow, I love the Bougerv stuff. But, boy, for the price of this stuff, you cannot go wrong. You just can't. And they're put together. I like that. So you don't have, you know, 15 cables all over your, you know, spaghetti strings in your backyard. You have one cable with 2 cables side by side, and you roll it up. So, Jasenoid, thank you again, man. You really have helped my family out with all your little tips and tricks from your channels. I mean, we watch every single video that you guys do. Thanks, man, thanks. I can't say thanks enough, guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't have this channel here. You know, if it wasn't for this Pecron, we wouldn't have this channel. So, yeah, we're kind of working as a team here. And, you know, if somebody knows something that someone does not, oh, you know, I just while we're waiting here, a weird story. So, Jason, you put that video up of you sleeping outside in your truck, and just to see what would happen. Oh, 6:30. Wait, hold on. Pause the story here. 6:40, guys. 6:45. 6:46. And damn, slot machine. 6:46, guys. That is literally on the back door of 100%. I mean, it's right there. So I have no problem seeing this go over, maybe even over 660. Okay, so back to the story real quick while we're waiting here. Jason and I did this video. It was real funny. He slept in his truck. You know, he took one for the team. I bet you he was frozen solid by the time he woke up almost. And he wanted to see if a power station can, you know, can stay out there with an electric blanket. And he asked people to chime in and say what would be a good thing. An old military trick is if you can get a garbage bag, a real big garbage bag, like a 55-gallon garbage bag, a big, you know, Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards kind of big industrial landscaping bag, and you put your sleeping bag inside that garbage bag, that thickness, because they're like 5 mil thickness on these big bags, it is very difficult for air to get through there and it cuts the wind down. And I guarantee, no matter what you're wrapped up in there, it's almost like you wrap it up like an enchilada there, like a burrito blanket, a Jasonoid burrito. There you go. Oh, 650, 652. Hold on, pause the story. 655. There you go, guys. 600 and oh boy, that's a bad one. 670, guys. 670 watts off 660 watts of panels. Holy cow. If I wouldn't have seen it, I wouldn't have believed it. And remember, we're running a 12 gauge cable, 50, 60 feet. It's probably closer to 60 feet. Excuse me. That's a no-no in solar. If you told anybody the setup of, I run 50, 60 feet on 12 gauge cable, they go, well, what are you, nuts? I mean, put some real, gauge on there. So anyway, back to that story. If you use that, if you're like in an emergency situation, it's very easy to keep a couple of garbage bags in your trunk of your car and a sleeping bag. It's, you never know. You could, your car could break down. You're on the side of the freeway for, 12, 13, 14, 24 hours. Who knows? It's a little different now because we've got cell phones. But, well, if you were camping and you were fishing or something and you had a bad day, that garbage bag with your stuff inside it, the sleeping bag inside it, I guarantee you will keep you anywhere between 10 to 30 degrees warmer than the surrounding air. That is a survival trick from the military. A lot of guys, they use different, a lot of guys used to use the, the big burlap tent bags that they would, they set up the old-fashioned tents in. But I kind of one-up that by using garbage bags, because garbage bags, you can literally fold it up and put it in your pocket, right? It's kind of like, those, when you go to the ball game, you get that cheap poncho thing that they sell you for $20. It's basically a garbage bag with a hoodie. I mean, that's literally what it is. But the number one thing in the construction field, for especially insulation and HVAC and stuff like that, is the air leaks. If you can seal most of the air leaks, you will win the game, I promise you. Because one air leak at 10 degrees can drop your entire atmosphere that you're sleeping in down to a very uncomfortable, by the time you wake up. So, I just want to throw that out there because I didn't quite know how to explain that typing. That's a lot to say in typing, and I ramble enough, so I didn't want to have a paragraph page on his, explaining a garbage bag. But hopefully you guys can understand what that is. But all right, well, I don't even know if we should continue the test, guys. I really don't. I haven't even series these together yet. I don't think we have to. When I series them together in my brain, obviously your data is going to be about 80, probably 80 open voltage. I figure if they're 40 a piece, just under 40 a piece, that would obviously series them to 80, and then your amps would be about 10. Now let me check something since we're sitting here and we're having a chat discussion here. Let me see if I just want to check something because I remember. Let's see. So we have. Let's see. Do you see that theory data right there? The current max input for the amps. It says 10 amps at 5%. Let me show you guys something. Let me show you guys something. The proof is in the pudding. That's 12 amps of power coming in off one of them. Well, 11.5. That's supposed to be 10, guys, at max. These are good. I would not hesitate to call these panels 400-watt panels. I would not. Look at the number I'm getting in on one. Remember, it's still early. It's not even prime solar hours. And we had 300 and some watts on here at 11.5 amps at 30 volts. Those are outstanding numbers for this product, guys. Absolutely outstanding. So, all right, I'll be back again. Like I said, I don't even know if we should have to continue this. I mean, we've already hit, but I'm going to keep going and see. Maybe we can get 700-800 watts out. Who knows? But as of right now, guys, I would pull up my credit card and buy these without question because I saw. I didn't hear about it. I didn't read, one of these things. I literally saw. Here, look at it again. 642, 645. And this is before prime hours. I can't wait to see what this is going to do at noon, This would really save your butt if you're camping. you'd power this thing up. I have 8 kilowatts here, so that would take obviously a long time. But man, if you had 4 of those, you could max out this thing with 4 of those panels. Easy, easy. 600 and 600. We obviously passed 600. So if I had these both going in one string in parallel, it would have stopped at 600. But being that we hit 600, I don't remember what it was, guys. 670 or something, 675. That's nuts for a 600 watt panel. So I want to personally thank Pecron for sending these to me. I love testing stuff. I've done it my whole life. You know, ever since I ripped that first drill apart. Here's 635. You know, I've had a fascination with, you know, how stuff works and stuff. You know, like any kid, you know, you give them a product, you rip it apart, you go, look at that. You know, Billy, the motor turns and it turns that, and the piston shoots, and you're like, what the heck? And then your curiosity grows as you get older and you get a little bit more money and a little bit more common sense, so you don't electrocute yourself. You know, you start tinkering and taking stuff apart, and it's a hell of a fun hobby. You got to be careful though. But man, is it a fun hobby? You know, I rip speakers apart like they're candy, rebuild them, put my own stuff in there. I've been building my own speakers now for 30 years. But you know, they always said if you want it done right, you do it yourself. I don't know how to build a power station, but I'll tell you what, if I did, I'd be building a hell of a big one. You know, it'd be the size of a Cadillac. You know, a big old 64, I'd be riding that thing down the street, you know, and with a big Tesla coil on the back of it. But all right, like I said, I know it's gonna be a long video, guys, that I ramble, but all right, I'm gonna pause it again and I'm gonna let it do what it does. I'll be back. Hey guys, I want to do a test that's totally like crazy. This is my security monitor thing that I bought to monitor the power stations. I'm going to go out there. I want to show you something. So just give me a second. I know it's going to be a longer video, but I want to show you something, okay? I want to show you the strength and the power of these legs. I was really amazed at these. I'll be right back. Just watch me. I'll pop up on the screen here in a second. I have this thing, okay? So this is like a play ball for my cat. But I want you to watch this, okay? So just give me a second. I apologize, but just give me a second. I'll be right out. Okay, guys, sorry, I'm back. Okay, if that doesn't prove how badass the quality of these panels are, these are good quality. I would have no problem. Or guys, order these. These are nice panels. They're about $1 a watt, just under $1 a watt, which in the foldable world, solid. Hopefully you guys saw that. Okay, I'm a little winded. I ran outside. Not getting no younger, you know. I threw that ball multiple times, not one, multiple times at each individual panel, thinking that, well, if there's, you know, like one that's weaker than the rest. And I'll tell you what, it took it. These things took an ass whooping that I just gave it with that big cat ball. That's kind of the same kind of a ball a kid would play, like, you know, at the beach, you know, the big knobby ball. Well, you saw it. And when I threw it from back here all the way to this one, I threw it pretty quick. I'd say that was every bit of a 30-mile-an-hour throw, and it bounced right back to my hand. It took that. It took that ass whooping just fine. But I don't even think I have to continue this review, guys. I really don't. I mean, we've showed 600 and almost 80 watts out of these two panels. They're not even in series. They're just plugged in, one side, one the other side, port 1, port 2. I showed you the durability with throwing that ball at it. You know, what that ball represents is the weather. a dog running into it, you know. Who knows what could happen when you start putting panels outside on the ground. You're going to have, without a doubt, you're going to have a squirrel run up this thing and sit on top of there. I've had birds sit on my panels because these obviously create heat, so the birds sit there when it's cold and they warm their little butts up. It's actually pretty cute to watch because the birds, they sit on the panels that are on the house, and you know, on the security camera that we have there to watch the panels for safety. These little birds, they'll sit there, and there'll be a little pool of water up there, and they'll literally sit like right next to the gutter, and they'll take a bath in the gutter and then sit on the solar panel to dry. So like I have a sauna, you know what I mean? I have a sauna sunbathing thing for the birds now, and you know, my cat loves to watch that. That's another reason I put that camera up there. You know, a cat and wildlife, hand in hand. But yeah, guys, no jokes. If I had anything negative to say about these, it's a negative and a positive. The weight, they're about 30 pounds a piece. They fold up very quickly. I'll show you on camera. I'll fold them both up and bring them back in. I'll unhook the strings and bring them. I can't honestly, like, I want to find a flaw in a product. I really do. I'm not a reviewer, you know what I mean? I'm new to this. So my responses are very honest because I have nothing to gain. You know what I mean? They sent these to me for free. So if I didn't like them, I could say I didn't like them, and I lose nothing. You know what I mean? I get to keep these no matter what. But being that proof is in the pudding, that I showed that these things go higher than what they were rated as. Pecron, good job. I showed with the force of that ball being thrown at that. Good job. Like, I haven't seen quality like this in a while. I really haven't. The only thing I think drawback for this company is the language barrier. You know, all the little oopsies with you know, the manual and things like that. But out of the 4 things that I recommended that they fix on the E2000, they fixed. You know what I mean? Like, who does that? You know, most companies would just blow you off and throw you down the street and say, well, I got your money, kid, goodbye. I really think this company is going to be something in the future. They've been around for 10 years probably, but they've gone from like a battery backup kind of throw it in your trunk kind of thing to a system that you could power your entire house with. And with panels like this, you know, I threw these up in less than 5 minutes, both of them. And, you know, 2 strings. This is obviously the wrong gauge cable. I'm using Jasonite Secret with the 12 gauge cable. You know, that alone is a no-no. This should at least be, you know, at least 10 gauge to get, you know, that transmission power a little bit easier. The resistance in these cables has got to be higher, much higher. You know, even 8 gauge, when you start running power like that, long distance, you know, you're running 330 watts, 60 feet almost. That's not a good idea unless you have to. You know, you want to keep your solar runs as short as you can and your cables as thick as you can, so you don't have that straw drinking soda resistance. You know, if you want to drink soda fast, you get a big straw. It's just that simple. If you want to put a lot of pressure on the straw, you get a small straw, and that power would have to zip through that straw at such an amazing speed, so you'd have a lot more resistance in there, you know. But yeah, I'm really honestly trying to find something negative. I want to be 100% honest in my reviews. If I didn't like anything, I can't. The handles, top class, strong as hell. I like the double stitch. I like that they match the system. I'm a big fan. You know, I've been a sound guy for a long time, so production is huge in my line of work. And when stuff matches, it looks nice. I think if I could say anything negative, which is not really a negative, about these panels, is I am a big fan of all black panels. I just like it. I don't like the traditional solar panel look. If these were jet black, and even better, not glossy, but matte, they sit in the background better. You don't notice them as much. They don't stand out like, you know, hey, I'm a solar panel look. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm blown away with this. I would easily, if I would have made these panels myself, I would have rated these panels 400 watts a piece. You know, I would have, because we're literally, what was it, 680? And it's 11:03 a.m. So like hands down, we're looking at a product that's producing numbers where, okay, at 1103, that means the solar has just started. Let's go over here a little bit here. Let's see. Okay, so we're down to 400. That means the clouds have moved in. Let's see. Let's go back here. We have both panels are still active. As you can see, if I can go real close, I know this is hard to see on this camera, but notice this is 2 trees in my neighbor's yard, which I would love to cut down, but you know there's laws against that. So notice that sun is not out 100%. Now see, now it's getting better. You see the shadow? All right, so let's check it now. Let's check it now. See? Guys, look at that. So now you understand why I put the security cameras on the systems like that, is because I can get a real-time view, not of the power coming in, but the atmosphere of which they're in. And then I can see, you know, why is this low? Oh, see, now the sun is going back. So if you were to go back to here, you can see in real time, you see how these disappeared? You see how these kind of got little lighter here? That's exactly why I do it. I like real-time data. I like it. See, now they're getting stronger. See how these are getting more prominent, the shadows? Oh, see how they're fading away? So that is the #1 reason why I like to have real world data. I can go back and look at this, you know, without an app or you know, schematics or a graph. You know, all I have is this, because you know, there's no apps or there's no graphs like Bluetti has the, you know, the meter. You can go back and look, but I have real-time data this way. So what we'll do is we'll wait a second here. Wait till these get a little bit stronger. The nice thing about that is it's so prominent. You can see the shadows and the angles and everything. But when you start seeing, I call them pencils. When you see these 2 pencils, which are the trees next door, and here's the fence line, when those get very, very strong and dark black, then you know that sun is shining well without having to stand outside. I would say right now we probably have 50% clouds, 50% sun. So we'll wait, and then we'll shoot over there again to the meter, and you know, we'll see what we're doing. And as I always said, there's no better test than real time. See how the pencils disappeared, the trees? So that means obviously the clouds are moving in. And as I said many times, it's gonna be a long video, but I want to have every bit of information out. You know, this is a big product. It's an investment. Oh, here comes your pencils again. Okay, let's see how bright they get there, or how dark they get. All right, they look. Oh, see, there they go again. So that, you know, that's the unfortunate thing with solar, guys. That's why I believe highly in over paneling. 2 of these on 1 port would obviously max out the port, and then you'd have extra. That's good. I'd recommend 2 for 1 port and 2 for the other. You'd be done. I guarantee that's a lot of power that come in. And then with the over paneling, when you have this, where your pencils would disappear, your trees, and you know, it goes in the shade, you're still producing good power because you're over paneled. Okay, now here they're getting a little bit more defined here. Let me run over to the power station quick again. Nope, oh, I just missed it, doggone it, and it's going back. So yeah, that's, see how they disappeared? Boy, that's hard. It's hard to catch this stuff in real time, guys. It really is. Hands down, I would buy these. I had no problem spending money on that. I don't care about the price of something. I never did. If I can't afford it, I save my money and I buy it. I want a product that works, period. If I give you $5, I want a product worth $5. These are every bit worth more than $5. Guaranteed, obviously. I think these are 6 a piece. And, oh no, that would be $2 a watt. Sorry, $2 a watt. But boy, that's worth it. To be able to pull those out at the beach or camping or something like that and have 600 plus watts coming in. All right, they're a little bit more defined now. Let's see. Oh, see, they're starting to go away again. We're still pulling decent. Let me zip over there again here. Yep, see, we're in the 5s now. So that's how oh, now they're very defined. So let's see. Okay, there it goes. Yep. So the trees are very dark on the screen. Oh, they're fading away again. Doggone it. But I mean, still at 11 o'clock in the morning, you're producing 500, and it's here almost 600. There's 620 almost, 636. Here we go, guys. Here we're gonna go again. Look at that. There you go. You just passed 100% output for those panels, even just for a second because of those stupid clouds. This is not a good day to test, so I'd love to see what these suckers can do in the summertime. I mean, here you go, guys. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. How nuts is that? So there's your plus or minus 5%. This is a company, guys, without a doubt, I don't care what anybody says. I've used their products. I bought them. I didn't get paid to do this review stuff. The panels, yes, they sent them to me for free. I was shocked. I looked at the mail and I found two boxes in there. I'm like, what the hell did you order, dear? And she said nothing. And I'm like, okay. And then there was a note in there. It says, you know, you do honest reviews. We want to better our products. You know, say what you say, basically. And I'm like, 100%. And I get to keep these. So yes, this is a sponsored review. I'm not trying to sell these products, but I'm going to tell you, these products work. Proof is in the pudding. Here's the clouds again. So go figure. As soon as you open your yapper, right? As soon as you open your yapper, Bob, it goes down. But yeah, hands down. There's a lot more tests I'm going to do on these guys. If I needed portable panels right now, I would buy them. That's not a sales thing. That's not a technique to get you to buy something. These SOBs work, period. And you see it by the numbers. You're not seeing a piece of paper explaining, you know, this is what we think. You're seeing in real time. And being that I'm having it on a 12 gauge cable from Jason's idea, I bet you we could push this thing more. I bet you probably get easy 700, yeah, probably 700 plus watts out of here. Because if you're pulling numbers like this on a crappy day on 12 gauge cable, I guarantee you put 8 or 10 gauge cable on that and you go out on a sunny summer day, these SOBs are going to put out some power. And then you'll be over paneled if you put 2 on one and 2 on the other. That'd be absolutely. Pecron, you did a real good job with these. Here we're 600 again, guys. Remember, 660 is the sweet spot, right? That's 100% output. And then, you know, as a panel heats up, obviously, you know, here's 644. Here, there's your 660 almost. There's your 660, guys. You know, proof is in the pudding. That's not me telling you about it. Look, 671, 685, guys. 694. Holy. Gordon Ramsay, SHIT, holy cow. Look, we're 704 watts, guys. We have full sun. Oh, that's a bad one. That's an unlucky one. So, you know, they should just edit that number out of numbers and just skip it. You guys ever been to a high-rise building? You know, a lot of high-rise buildings don't have a 13th floor. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. That's a very strange thing that a lot of people, you know, they never heard about. A lot of buildings don't have a 13th floor because it's a bad luck number, so they took it out of buildings. It's the weirdest thing when you look at a number on some old high-rise buildings and it goes 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14. So it's like, wait, what happened to 13? You know, we always, as a kid, thought it was like, you know, the secret MIB, you know, Will Smith hidden floor where you go talk to the worm people and stuff. But obviously they had a lot of what do you call that? You know, darn, I can't think of the name right now. Here, much as I ramble, you think I'd remember the name. Wives' tales, you know, the old wives' tales and stuff. Where you believe in something that's not true, kind of thing. The Candyman thing, you know what I mean? But yeah, guys, I don't know. I don't think I should even continue the review. These panels are 100% perfect. I would rate them at 400 watt panels without a doubt. Without a doubt. Now I got the stupid clouds coming back in, but without a doubt, I would rate these 400 watt panels. Or even 420, if it wasn't for the clouds, guys. I'm going to do other tests down the road and other videos. 100%, I would take my credit card out and buy these right now if I needed them. 100%. Pecron, thank you again for sending this to me. I'm honored and humbled to do a review. Like I said, I wish I could find more. See, here we're going up again here. Let's see. I wish I could find anything. Oh, and back down. Stupid clouds. I wish I could find anything that was negative. Here, see the pencils? They're not perfectly defined. That's the clouds. The handles, top notch. The stitch corners, the reinforced stitch corners, I love. The legs with there's this, and then there's another one in there that you can lock. I like. You saw me throw the ball at him. That's nuts for a portable panel. You would expect it to at least wiggle. The 15 to 20 foot cable, I didn't measure it, but it looks like every bit of 15 feet plus. Heavy gauge, that's 300 volt line coming out of there. and MC4s plus. I know Jason Lloyd, I know you like those Anderson power poles. I'm an MC4 guy, especially when you put stuff outside, guys. I highly recommend MC4 because of the waterproof. But the weight, 30 pounds, you know, might be a little heavy at first, but I figure, hell, if you can carry the power station at 50 pounds, right, you could sure as hell carry one of these, you know, carry them one at a time, or do that, you know, the old balancing act, you know what I mean, the guy with the tightrope, you put one in one hand and one in the other hand, and it balances in, you walk down, you got 60 pounds going down to the beach, or to your camping spot. But I'm trying to think of something negative to say. I can't, other than they look like solar panels. I wish they were all black. The material that they use to make these is absolutely, if I can show here, this is the Tishihari. You know, this is basically a cheapy one. It's decent, right? The material. Look at the legs. You know, to me, this is junk. You know what I mean? The second I threw the ball at something like this would have fell over. But even if you look at Pecron's 100-watt panel that I got when I bought the system, right? Look at it's quality. Look at, you have like legit. It's not cheap. Your rivets strong. You know, the panels, the stitching. You see the stitching on there, guys? That's not a joke, man. I look at small things like that. Like I said, I was a production guy for a long time. When you do sound in production like that, your eyes are trained to look at the small things, because what you see on TV can last forever in your mind. If you see something negative on this screen, it sticks in your mind, you know? Like, you guys ever sit outside and you see a wasp go by? You sure as hell saw it. I guarantee it. Because that's that negativity in a production value. Like if you had curtains here and you had a singer right here and one of the curtains was crooked, that's an eyesore. That's what I look for, and it's just natural. It's, if you do carpet or you do drywall for a living, the first thing you do when you walk in a building is you stare at the carpet and you stare at the drywall. You don't mean to do it. It just comes natural. It's like breathing and walking to a craftsman. They walk in a building, and if you did concrete blocks, the first thing you do is you look at the concrete foundation, period, before you look at the roof and everything else and the siding. You look at, that's what I do for a living, so I want to check if it's right. You know, with drywall, you look at the corners and see how the arches are done, and you know, are they mudding properly? Are they masking and sanding properly? Is the paint applied good? You just do. I want to say something negative about these guys. I can't find a single thing. I'm really fighting to try to find something that's negative. I just can't. The handles, the corners, the material, the legs, the locking legs. I threw the ball at it many times, not just once, many times, and that last one was very hard. It was like a Raleigh Fingers pitch. The color, I didn't like the yellow at first. I didn't. I was turned off by the yellow. It's grown on me, and now that the entire system matches, that it's, you know, as a production guy, that grew on me even more. So I just, the power output, guys, you literally, you know, it's 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm pushing more than 100% rated power in February, for God's sake. It's February. We shouldn't be getting numbers like that. And I didn't even aim these correct. I used a soup can. That's an old technique. And I guarantee that these are not 100% equal. This one looks off right off the bat. I feel like I should look for something negative. I can't find it. I just can't. I'm really struggling for any kind of idea other than, like I said, I do not like the solar panel look. I just don't. I do not like it. And that's not a negativity thing. That's an opinion thing. You know what I mean? You like a red car, I like a blue car. That's an opinion thing. They're both the same car. But I don't like having stuff look like solar panels. I think it reminds me of the olden days where the farms had the solar panels and they used to feed the chickens in the roof. You know, that's what solar panels remind me of. That's the guys who had it first, is the old farmers. But IP68, I believe, with the rating. Oh, you know, one thing, I want to throw this in there too. Like I said, it's a long video. You know that little pouch that comes on the back of these? This is something they did right. I'll tell you what. So I want to show you something real quick if I can. You notice that, let's see. Let me show you this old one here. Let me see if it's on there. Because I have a few of these. Now, when you set these panels up, one thing it's overlooked, but one thing that's really important is if you were to pull the cable out of here. See, this is where the junction box is, right? That's where the, hopefully you can see that. That's where the power is coming out. And if you bring the cable out the bottom, you can bring the cable out this hole right here and have water shed. These are not waterproof, guys. They're water shed. And you know what? They continued on all their models. I've seen some of these panels, and I don't know why they did it. Bad choice in my opinion. Not Pecron, but other companies, where they would only have one zipper. You know what I'm saying? Like a coat, it zips up and it zips down. The problem with that is, if you have one zipper, you're literally stuck from open to close. When you have multiple zippers like this, right? You see how you can put the access port where you need it? Like I said, hopefully you can see this. Let me put this up a little bit. So here, so if you had the cable coming out here, if you had it coming out here, so when you hang these on stuff, you know, you have that option of changing that port rather than just always on the bottom. It's a very small detail, but very overlooked. And the legs that Pecron gives you on these things, you know what I mean? It's good. It's not a joke, man. It's good stuff. The amount of Velcro that they give you. Hopefully you can see that. You know, the amount of Velcro they give you, right? Let me shed some light on the situation here. I forgot. I don't even have my. Oh, that's right. I unplugged my power station because I'm charging it outside. I was going to put some more light on, but the amount of the quality in just everything, the stitching. I look at the stitching. You know what I mean? If I build something for a stage, it has to last. It has to, because if it falls down during filming or falls down during production or like a live event, you look like an idiot. So I don't want to have that. You look like a rinky-dink operation. But let me check the output again. I wish I could do live streams. I guess I can, but I don't know how to do it yet. So that way, this would be a lot more, because I could take questions from people, and then they can in real time say, hey, Bob, try this and try that, and I'm just trying it just the way I would if I was just average guy going fishing. That's it. But yeah, great. I don't know. I can't think of anything negative, guys, other than they look like solar panels. That's the only negative, and that's not a fair negative. I can't hold that against them. This is a fantastic panel, guys. Fantastic. Thank you, Pecron, again for sending these to me. I really appreciate that. It's very nice. I wanted to, beat the crap out of these. I really did. I wanted to, tear them down and say, this sucks, this is terrible. Nothing. There's nothing negative about these panels. Obviously, the only thing I haven't tested yet is the longevity of the panels. That comes in time. You can't speed that up. But as far as power output, build quality, the stitching, the rigidness of the panels. When I hit it with the ball, nothing happened. The cables, the length of the cables, everything, just everything. I'm at loss for words, other than they look like solar panels, guys. Buy these. That's it. That's all I can tell you. Buy these. I don't care where you buy them. Buy them. It's good product. Very good product. Well made. Hopefully they'll have a sale on them, and then you can pick them up cheaper. But I don't know what they go for. I looked them up on Amazon right now, and I think they're $599.99 at the time of this filming. But obviously that's an introductory price, so I don't know if that's going to change. I assume it will, because every company has sales. I try to link the sales to the people so they can save a couple extra bucks. I recommend buying through a third party. I don't care where it is, because of what we talked about in earlier videos. Boy, I can't think of anything negative. I just wish we had better solar, because I think you saw it. We had 701 watts come out of 2 panels. That's definitely more than what these are designed to do. Pecron, great job. Great, absolute thumbs up. Good panel, 100%. I'm gonna do more testing on these guys. I know it's a long video. Have fun. Just play this video while you're at work, and you can burn time and get paid by it. So, all right, guys, ramble on. Be safe, and I'll see you again. Okay, bye. Oh, guys, one more thing real quick. Sorry to jump back in. I promised that I would show you how to take these down and see how long it takes. So give me 1 second. I have to run all the way outside to the backyard. Just give me 1 second. Just sing a song, Steve Miller Band. Good stuff. All right, I'll be right back, okay?
Okay, that was real time, guys. Great product. Ramble on. Pecron, good job. Bye.